Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jason from All Ears Chat. Really just wanted to talk about, do you need emotions to sell on eBay? Sadly, I've come to the conclusion, and I wish I had earlier, we need to remove the emotions from the equation of doing this business on a day-to-day basis. Now that's a bit of a tough one to say, it's tough to digest, and I'm not saying be heartless, I'm just about being matter of fact and not letting the emotions enter the conversation when something comes up, positive or negative. Positive's always going to be a better opportunity, but negative with emotions just doesn't help you on your daily basis and will pull you down from your daily activity. What's more important though is emotions are not only levied against the buyer, it's also levied against when we conduct ourselves with eBay. I'm currently going through a situation where I can tackle it emotionally or non-emotionally. If I went down the emotional route, I'm just going to be banging my head against the wall and not being clear and getting to the bottom of it. Whereas if I tackle it from a thoughtful process, it's going to give me the opportunity to get to the bottom of the problem and resolve it in a more concise manner. Now, why am I talking about this? I just find it very interesting because I'm looking at it from the seller panel perspective. I'm looking at it in the forums. I'm looking in the YouTube chats. I'm looking at it in conversations I'm having with people out and about with regards to reselling as well, which is a space I sort of work in, not to the full extent of what you resellers do. And God, hats off to you guys as well, to be brutally honest with you. I just got off a chat with somebody about this as well. You guys have knowledge that is superior to so many things that you don't give yourself enough credit for. So take that as a pat on the back. I respect everything you resellers do, and I love learning from you, whether you're on the YouTube channels or whether you're actually in public talking to us about things in person, such as at the All Ears event, which I loved as well. So thank you, coming back to that. But the emotion needs to be removed from the conversation so we can move forward on a daily basis. If you have a customer put in an I'm not received and I'm not as described, every person and every email we get from people, every person is educated and has less or more time or less or more education, less or more vocabulary. Everybody will deliver to you a different message wanting the same thing as a response. If we pick apart those messages at our education level or at the level that we're comfortable with, we may see problems with what they're writing, but we can't be like that. We can't read the emotion into it. We need to identify what the problem is, go back to them, type them a simple, concise message back that's clear, and come back with, what do you want us to do? What would you like to be done? How can we resolve this for you? Let's see if we can work this out for you. And making it look like we're doing it in a manner that is professional, keeping us level-headed, not interfering with our daily activity and getting us down and about so we feel we have to go and whinge and complain to 101 different people. Still, we might want to do that, but it's just handy to remove that burden from our own mindset. So I guess this video is just about, do you take emotions into every conversation? Do you read into the conversations you're having with people in emails through eBay or other online platforms and thinking emotionally about the responses that then eats into your day that you carry around on your back or on your shoulders for several hours whilst you're stewing or burdening that conversation? I know in the old days, I used to do it all the time. I wish I learnt this message or learnt this process many, many years ago. It's only recently where I've stepped it up, and it's more about business and it's more about the processes involved to remove that emotional deterioration that occurs when you get addressed by people or spoken to in a way that you feel is not quite right. So do you remove the emotion from the conversation? Do you go back factually and over service with kindness and love that we need to do in the online forum to try and get to a resolution? That's my advice. But you know what? It's not just about dealing with customers. It's about dealing with eBay as well. So eBay are also a component that we need to remove the emotions from. We can't feel like they're always trying to attack us and take things away from us. We can't feel they're always wanting to overcharge us or their fees are too expensive or this or that. We need to look at it as they're a business as well as we're a business. And it's very fundamental that they operate in the manner that they do and that we respect the way that they operate. Doesn't mean we have to agree. Doesn't mean we can't put up our hands and look at a different way to do things to try and refine it. I'm going through a situation with eBay myself, which has inspired this whole video, to be brutally honest with you, where I need to address eBay about them putting my money on hold. eBay managed payments have locked my money down over, look, I can't even go into it. It's not even something that's wrong. I'm going to do another video on it. It's actually uploading in the background. But it's just a silly decision that's been made that I can't get my head around, and nothing's changed in my business. So I could either be emotional. This happened on the 1st of November. I could either be emotional about it, or I could be factual. So I'm delivering it in a factual manner, and I'm addressing it in a factual manner, and I'm going to push through it in a manner that will allow me to get through it without impeding my daily sales, without impeding the activity that I need to do to push through to keep my business operating on a daily basis. I could have chosen to stew on it all weekend and not actually address the basics of my business, but I'm flipping that around. I can't change it. They're not going to do anything wrong. They're not going to shaft me. They're not going to do anything that's going to impede my business. So I just push through and I get it resolved during the week. So let's come back to it. I suggested to myself many years ago that I remove the emotions. I do it a few ways. I read the emails. I try and put myself in their shoes and be a little bit empathetic about what they're doing. They're buying online. I try and respond in the simplest and clearest of manners so that it removes any possible interpretation of anger. I try and not preempt what they're thinking. I try to not preempt a story from somebody else and lay it on top of their conversation, which is just a bit of an issue. We bring past baggage and problems with us to future conversations. I try not to do that. I take each person and each conversation as a one-on-one basis and a first-time communication and listen to what they have to say. In fact, some of my best customers today are people I've had problems with in the past that I've spent time with and understanding who they are, and they now come in and have a coffee. They don't even buy anything sometimes when they come in. They come down, they have a coffee, they sit, we relax, and we talk like we're mates. But that's the community I'm in. It's the business that I operate in from a collector's space. We're all unique. We all have a very unusual way of doing things the majority of the time. I can't believe I admitted that. And it's just something that I've done. So removing the emotion from the conversation has actually provided a better, more fortuitous relationship with people that started as a bad customer. We've all heard that one customer that you can turn will become a very loyal customer. So we need to try and put that hat on of removing the emotions to create that relationship with all of our customers and not getting ourselves down in the process. It's probably more about the message, to be honest. And I've spoken for a fair bit. It's quite a long video. It's like 8 minutes already, so I apologize for that up front as well. But removing the emotions will take the strain out of your own daily grind. It will take the pressure off you for feeling you haven't achieved everything that you achieve on a daily basis. We need to reflect on those achievements that we do in our business and profit from. That item that you bought for $2 from a thrift shop that you turned into $40. That item that you bought that helped somebody get their child's collection of the Thomas the Tank, for example. You've done something to help somebody on a daily basis with information and knowledge that's a feather in your cap that you can remember and relate to on a daily basis as well. Don't get emotional about the negative, because I don't want you being disappointed. I don't want you being upset. Your friends don't want you being in that position. And removing the emotion will just make the transition between every customer interaction so much easier. Every new piece of information that's relayed to you, if you can remove the emotion from it, you'll see it for what it really is. And this is really the other flip side of it when I was talking about eBay as well. The forums are full of conversations where people feel there's one side to the conversation. They feel it's an eBay side or an Amazon side or a catch. Whatever platform you're on, it doesn't matter. They're all perceived the same. The perception when somebody else is taking a fee for what we do, everyone seems to be offended by that. I personally don't mind. Hey, I prefer not to pay it, but 11 to 15% in fees to get the exposure I do for my product is negligible. If I was trying to do that on my own website and be self-supportive on my own website, I'd be throwing much more money than that at marketing, SEO, and all forms of campaigns. So if you look at it from information you get from the platforms, especially when there's changes happening, new listing tools, new devices, whatever the case may be, if you look at the reasons behind it and take that emotional component away from it, you'll see they're trying to change it for the ease of us sellers, for the benefit of us sellers to move forward. So look, let's wrap it up. Thanks, I've rambled heaps. I hope you got something out of it. Overall, it's just about removing the emotion from that daily activity that you do with your clients, the emotional component of the negative that you would normally bring into the conversation, so that you can move forward on a daily basis and actually be profitable and be reflective on your time and not have a negative, emotionally draining situation pull you down from your normal activity you need to do to be productive in the environment. So go out there, do the best you can. We're here for you. The seller forum, eBay Sellers Australia, is online on Facebook. They're there to help you as well. Everybody's around you to help you. Your family's around you to help you. They may not understand reselling, but they're always going to be there for you. Join some reseller communities. Join Aussie resellers. There's so many different things you can do. One of the things that I'd like to suggest is go and reach out to Jon the Reseller at YouTube as well. I'll put a link below. He's got a very factual approach to the way he conducts his business as well. Very efficient and manages his time very well as his business. He's got a couple of different stores, which I've said before. Not giving him a big boost with regards to the fact that I want something from it, or somebody else wants something from it, or he doesn't deserve it, or he does deserve it. He's just a great channel to watch to educate you in a process as opposed to an item. He's looking at the back end side of things, so it's really interesting to have a look at. So Jon, if you're watching, g'day mate. Head out there, enjoy your business, do what you got to do. Try and take the emotion out from eBay and buyers, and let us know how you feel about this, because I'd really love to get the conversation about this. It's only the problem I'm having at the moment that raised this with me and actually allowed me to identify a lot of the conversations I get into with problems are because people are looking at it with an emotional component, and it's changing the conversation. It's making it more difficult to resolve. Human elements, we're emotional. But if we can fine tune it to a manner that will allow others to help us and remove that emotionally draining situation from yourselves and your daily activity, I'm all for it. So give us a buzz, let us know, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the emotional side of approaching things. I know I'm going to get slammed for it, but I'm out here doing this. So I look forward to catching you up on the next one. There's going to be another one coming through shortly. And I look forward to seeing you around the traps. And that's it. See yous.